This is another driving adventure, and this time in the 2025 Ioniq 5 from the Chicago suburbs to Champaign, to Peoria, to Washington, D.C., Buffalo, New York, back to Chicago, 2,000 miles all the way. And our first pictures are starting. It shows 79 degrees, but it was in the garage overnight, so it's a little cooler than the outside air temperature, which was about 84. And the first leg of this trip, the first 22 miles, you can see here that we've got 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour. We're on a state road, always get really good performance here. And then we arrive in Champaign around 109 miles later, an hour and 45 minutes, 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. And our battery state of charge is all the way down, all the way down to 58%. And in the winter, I've done this exact same trip when the temperature is below freezing and we had high winds, and we arrived at this location with 46% battery. So that drive took about 22% more energy, and it made it so that you couldn't drive back in one go. But during this temperature, when it's in the mid 80s to 90, air conditioning doesn't use much. We could drive all the way to Champaign and all the way back without charging. But now we are going to drive over to Peoria, Illinois. Just stopped in Morton, Illinois, just outside of Peoria. Just plugged in my car at this beautiful Iona. It's only 2 towers, 4 stations, or 4 stalls. The other 2 are behind me. But this used to be Circle K charging, and they just swapped out these chargers with Iona. Let's see, the price here is 39 cents per kilowatt hour. And I hear the clicking. Oh, and there it goes. Look at that. Well, I tell you what, when this plug-in charge is working, it is absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, this big, beautiful Circle K, I'm going to go run inside, get some gum or mints, maybe a drink, and then run back out here. And I'm going to charge probably 5 minutes. I'm actually on my way to a wedding in Peoria, Illinois, and I'm just almost there, but I just drove 180 miles, so I had to stop and get some electricity, and I'm going to run inside and see how it goes. All right, mapped where I'm going next, and ran inside the store, got some mints, used the restroom, back out to the car, and we're going to have 8 minutes of charging, still getting 183 kilowatt, 53%. That's good for now, and it's back to the road. As I mentioned, we happened to go to Peoria, Illinois area for a wedding, and just wanted to show you a beautiful picture of the scenery right outside of the wedding facility, and then another picture with the beautiful, absolutely fantastic sunset. Unfortunately, it's going to lead to rain, and in this next picture you can see we haven't gone very far, but a lot of slower driving, average speed under 40, but our miles per kilowatt hour is 3.5. Well, I'm back in Morton and at this wonderful Circle K, but unfortunately it's raining pretty hard. Backed into the space, and now I've got to run out and put electrons in the car. I have 71 miles of range, but the next place I want to stop is about 85, 86 miles, so we're not going to make it. So I'm going to charge here for a few minutes and then go to Gilman, Illinois, and we're going to cut across to central Illinois. Ran outside and grabbed the NACS, aka Tesla connector, and plugged it into the car, and then ran back in to get out of this terrible rain, and sat here for 20-30 seconds, and the car started charging. I didn't have to use a credit card. I didn't have to do anything. When plug-in charge is working, it is fantastic. Well, we have traveled across Illinois on Route 24. We're at 29%. Had heavy rain at the very beginning, and we're getting 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour. But after a little bit of a drive on I-55, we got on US Route 24, and it's a little bit slower speed, so the range went up. Total average 3 miles per kilowatt hour. And we're at this lovely Monocle's. And I love this stop because right across the street, not only is there Burger King, but Pilot with EVgo chargers. So we have lots of choices right here, and we're going to continue our trip east along 24 into Indiana. And this is a cheaper charger, so I'm going to charge it for a while. So we might be here a good 15 minutes, a really long charge for an Ioniq. We walked over to the Pilot Flying J, got a little something to eat, walked back, talked to another EV driver, got a Rivian over there. Had a great time, and time got away from me, so we're at 89%. Absolutely, totally did not need this. Could have even skipped this or just charged for 5 minutes, but we had a great time. We're gonna go for an hour, continuing east on 24 until Interstate 65 in Indiana. And even though it's only an hour away, we're gonna stop there and charge, because then the plan is to go visit some friends and family people in the middle of Indiana where there's not a lot of chargers, and go all the way to Fort Wayne, and if possible, all the way to Lima, Ohio. And that's more than 200 miles from here. Actually, more than 200 miles from the next stop. So we're intentionally filling up the battery here, but it's 48 kilowatts. So I'm gonna turn it off. 24 minutes. We'll call it 24 minutes. But since we had a nice walk and a nice time, now we get a train. So I'll keep you updated on the next stop. We skipped a planned stop in Indiana and did all of our visiting, and now we've driven all the way to the eastern side, and we're just outside of Fort Wayne at a Meyer Electrify America, and plugged in the car because it's been using plug-in charge at Iona flawlessly. Plugged it in here and it didn't work, and had to unplug, plug it in a second time, and it didn't work. But at least thankfully with this charger, it would allow me to then use the app, because the whole charger didn't glitch like the old ones that I had used the other day. So not as good as it's supposed to be, and the plug-in charge clearly didn't work. But nice charger. I think there's 6 towers, all 350s, so very nice. And it'd be nice if the plug-in charge worked like it's supposed to, but it doesn't. We only need really a couple of minutes here to get to our hotel, and our hotel thankfully has charging at the hotel overnight. So we were going to end up with maybe like 15-20 miles of range left. So we could have done it. We could have driven all the way through the entire state of Indiana without charging at all. But, you know, just a little extra safety here to get a few more percent, and we'll be on the road. And it's doing 178, which is now the second bummer for this location. The plug-in charge didn't work automatically, and right now on this car I should be getting pretty close to 250 kilowatt, and we're not. Not a real big deal, especially since I'm only going to be here a couple of minutes. But Electrify America, man, you know, it's nice enough, it gets me through, but I'm getting more and more choices, and I'm not going to want to come to Electrify America when all these other stations work better. Just a quick summary shot of our time in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Top right, you can see charging time 7 minutes, and in the lower left, you can see we went from 36 to 59%. So another very quick stop, because we're going to our hotel. We have arrived at our hotel in Lima, Ohio, and there are Tesla destination chargers, level 2 chargers. I think they're 6.6 kilowatt, not the 250 I'd like to get, but we're going to be here for the night. So I count this as 0 minutes of charging time, because I simply scan the QR code on the machine, plug in the car, and go into the hotel, eat dinner, get some sleep, wake up in the morning, it's 100% full. Just pulled into this lovely Pilot, I always want to call them Pilot Flying J, but I guess this is just a Pilot station only. Plugged in the car, and the plug-in charge worked like a charm. Started at 32%, and we're already up to 245 kilowatt. And I think this car can go up to 265. This is the Ioniq 5 that we're charging. So got to run in and use the services and hurry up back out here because, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes is probably all we're going to need for another 2 hours of driving. I'm not trying to stop at Pilot every location, but they just happen to be where I want to stop. Another couple hours of driving, and we pulled in here to charge. And we're now getting 249 kilowatt at 53% of charge. Oh, I just showed 250 there for a second. Not a charging speed you're going to get in a Tesla. Now, of course, everyone's going to cry that they're more efficient than they are, but they don't charge like this. Not at 54%. So, been here 6 minutes. Just need enough range to get to our next stop. Probably another 2 hours away. I'm going to go check on that now. And maybe I'll just make another quick video when we get closer to Washington, D.C. We did make one more quick trip before getting to Arlington, Virginia at an Ioniq, and just took a screenshot here and did make a video there. At 55% state of charge, the car was charging 234 kilowatt. These Ioniq chargers and the Ioniq cars, absolutely amazing. But just wanted to get enough extra juice to get in Arlington and then back out in case we can't charge at the hotel. It turns out we could charge at the hotel, so we were able to charge up to 85% at the hotel just because I didn't want to plug in when we first got there, and plugged in a few hours before we left and got to 85% when we were leaving Arlington, Virginia to head west into Pennsylvania. You can see the charging speed here, 257 kilowatts. I thought I said 264 a minute ago, and I raced out here to get it. We are at this Sheetz in Pennsylvania off of I-70 on our way to Buffalo, and we probably already have enough charging. This is my second session, by the way, just for disclosure. Was 4 minutes in, and then I saw that I probably could and should sign up for membership on this trip. $7 a month, and of course when I get home I can turn it off, but $7 for the month, and the price drops by 25%. So now we're only paying 45 cents a kilowatt hour, not the 60 cents. And I'm pretty sure over the next week I'll have at least a couple of times where I'll stop at Electrify America. So I figured pay the $7 and save the money. So only really need to, well, don't even need to be here any longer, but while it's charging at this kind of speed, I don't want to unplug because you never know what you're going to get next. So we'll be here probably until 70% state of charge, another 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and then we'll go to our next charger, which is 90 miles away, but 2 hours of driving. So through some state roads and through some beautiful mountain scenery, I'm sure. So we'll go check that out, and I'll log in at the next stop for you. Just wanted to throw in a photo of the road in western Pennsylvania. A couple hours of driving just like this. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, here we... Oh, there it is. It's starting. Charging started already at a Walmart this time. Another Electrify America. I don't have a whole lot of choices here in west central Pennsylvania. We're in the city of Dubois, this beautiful Walmart. We're on our way to Buffalo. It's a couple hours north of here, and there's some other people here charging, so we had to pull into a 150, which I'm not in love with the idea, but we'll do really well on a 150 if the machine lets us. Right now it says 90, so we'll see how high that goes. Maybe it wouldn't even be any better on the bigger machines, or maybe they'll move and I'll jump over to another spot. But that's why I don't like to unplug. As you can see, we got here with 38%. I don't like to unplug if I'm getting 180 or 200 plus kilowatt at a charger, even if I don't need the electricity, because you never know what's going to happen at the next charger. So we're getting 91. We'll see how it goes. Went inside the Walmart and used the restroom to find one of the vehicles has moved, and the other one here is now moving as I'm speaking. And I'm still getting 87 kilowatt But we've decided to go ahead and have our salad while we're here. So my wife's buying a couple salads. So we're going to be here extra time anyway. So there's no need for me to move. The battery is warm from a day of driving and it's in the 80s now. And we're already above 55, 56%. At 15 minutes to get to 80%. We don't even need to go there, but since we're gonna take a little pause, have a nice salad, and get back in the car, it's not gonna be a big deal. So we're just gonna enjoy the charge and leave the 350s open for other users that can take advantage of them. And next stop will be somewhere close to or in the city of Buffalo. We made it to Buffalo, but our hotel did not have a charger, so I've got a couple of pictures here for you. A shot across the street of downtown Buffalo, and then me hanging out with Bill Nye. That's right, that Bill Nye the science guy. And then we had a trip to Niagara Falls, where our individual boat was the Nikola Tesla. We had great fun there, and a couple more shots of Niagara Falls. The unfortunate part is while we were waiting to get on the boat, actually we were waiting to get our tickets to get near the boat, the sky opened up and poured on us. So by the time we got our ponchos, we were thoroughly, absolutely, completely soaked. I could not have been wetter. If I had jumped in the river and climbed out, I would have been equally wet. But I had a great visit. And then, of course, when our event was over, we headed south on Interstate 90 through New York towards Pennsylvania and Ohio. We have stopped at the Barcelona Cafe in upstate New York, extreme western New York near Interstate 90, and plugged in the car at this Electrify America that's not Electrify America, Evolve New York. But it's Electrify America equipment, and started with the Electrify America app and wanted to see how we're doing here. 160 kilowatt, and it may be slow for a few minutes because the temperature is currently 57, and I manually turned on the battery preconditioning only about 5 minutes before we stopped, so it didn't have much time to warm up the battery. So it'll probably go like this for a few minutes and hopefully warm up. And I am going to, it's 47 cents. I don't know if I get the Electrify America 25% discount on this reasonable rate because it's not straight up Electrify America. I'll try to add a note here if I can figure that out. And I've got to figure out where we're going next. So I'll end this video here. Of course, as soon as I stopped the video, the speed jumped up to 209, 208. So after about 2 minutes, it was warm enough to go from 160 to 210. And hopefully it'll continue to increase, and maybe we'll even get over 250 before we're done. Stopped a little earlier than expected because I wanted to go to this Sheetz with this really nice Iona station. And I don't know if it is the weather or the fact that the station has a lot of cars in it. I was only getting 180, 190 kilowatts. But, you know, it's a beautiful day. It's a little chilly. It's still, 62 degrees. So below 70, sometimes the car doesn't charge as fast as one would like. Tried to use the preconditioning, but it said the battery temperature was fine. So it wouldn't turn on. And I've already got the next location mapped, and I think I've got like an extra 80 or 90 miles of range. So we're just going to give this another minute or two, and we've been here 8 minutes, so it's still 158, so it's not bad. We'll give it till 10 minutes, and then we're on the road. Now at a rest stop in Ohio somewhere, and Electrify America charger. And because I used Iona at the last stop and had the plug-in charge turned on, and I forgot to turn it off, this Electrify America tower glitched on me, So I had to unplug and go and turn off the plug-in charge, give the system a minute or two. And it's not too bad, but it's kind of an annoying thing. And it's a little warmer out now. I don't think it's quite 70 outside. What's the speed we're getting? Oh, it's ramping up nicely. Hasn't even been a minute. All right, well, there's 1 minute. And we're charging at 204. Gonna go use the services and come back, and hopefully that's going over 250 kilowatt here at Electrify America. Once again, we have the situation where the charger took less time than I did. We're 16 minutes into the charge. We're almost to 80%. It's down to 102 kilowatt, 101 kilowatt, and probably could have left here 4 or 5 minutes ago, but we were in the facilities, and then I came out and made myself a drink. But we're gonna unplug now. So I guess we're gonna call it 17 minutes. Another pretty quick charge, and we're ready to go. Just for fun, this time we stopped at a Rivian. There was an Electrify America nearby, and 4 out of 4 stations were full. So we planned to go here. And there's 5 of the towers, and there's a 6th one right here. And we're up to 145, 150. It's still ramping up. A couple of restaurants around here, some shopping. Hampton Inn. Royal Seafood. Not perfect amenities like a great big truck stop, but you could easily walk to one of these restaurants and use the restroom if you so needed. It'd be great to stay in a hotel like that and just come over here and charge for a few minutes. Oh, and look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I saw it. It was 245 seconds for 245 kilowatt for a few seconds. But this is our best charge today. And the temperature is in the mid 70s, so the battery is wonderfully warm, and we're going to keep an eye on this and see if we can get that 245 again. But I got to check where we're going next. Getting a phenomenal charging speed. It has popped into the 260s a couple of times, which is peak charging for the Ioniq 5 model year 2025. Ran over to the Smoothie King to use their services, and I was going to mention our last leg, the efficiency dropped from 3.3 down to 2.8, 2.9. So we ended up getting here with just 35 miles to spare, which is lower than I usually like to do. But I think it's the wind. I can definitely feel the wind here. So we're going to charge a little extra here. Luckily we caught that high speed because now it's slowed way down to 200, but just only got to be a couple more minutes. Let's see, we've been here 8 minutes, maybe 4 or 5 more minutes, and we're going to do our last leg. Currently it says 2 hours and 5 minutes, so we should be able to easily do that, and we'll be back to where we're going to stay tonight in the Chicagoland area. I did collect this screenshot showing, at least momentarily, the car was getting 269 kilowatt. I don't know if that's really real, plus and minus, but I know I can do 265, but it was nice to see the 269. Made it back to our final destination. Total miles was 2,036 miles. We stopped at a fast charger 13 times. Our average time charging was 14.85 minutes. We're going to call that 15-minute average stop. And there were 2 stops that really inflated that number. One was when we stopped in Illinois before entering Indiana, because I had the idea we could make it all the way across Indiana, but we did some driving within the state and ended up stopping at Fort Wayne for a little bit. But that charge in Illinois, we went to 89%, which took a lot of extra time. The other stop that we charged too much because we'd stopped to eat lunch was 30 minutes at the Walmart that was providing a slow charge. So we did eat lunch while we were charging, but the Gilman stop was 24 minutes, and the slow Walmart stop in DuBois, Pennsylvania was 30 minutes. And even with those 2 incredibly long stops, our average charging time was 15 minutes. Had a lot of 7 and 10 and 15-minute stops. So fantastic. Average drive time between stops was 2.7 hours. So 2 hours, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. Miles per minute of charging, 10.55. I think that's a good summary number of how efficient the car is at charging and driving. That is about 15% more, maybe 12% more than the Ioniq 9, which one would expect with the smaller vehicle. The Ioniq 5 is smaller than the Ioniq 9. So again, normal driving, 2.5 hours to 3 hours between stops. In this car, about 15 minutes per stop. In the Ioniq 9, it was 17 minutes per stop. And in the more aerodynamic Ioniq 6, it's about 13 minutes per stop. So not a real big difference. Get the vehicle you want. But when people talk to you about 30, 40, 50 minutes per stop, that's just not the average. The average here is 15 minutes with us not trying to race. Matter of fact, our average state of charge upon arrival at a charging station was 29%, and our average charge leaving was 74%. If we really wanted to game it, we wouldn't show up with 29%. We'd show up with 10% or less and only charge to 65 or 70% to get more of the super high-speed charging, and you would be even more efficient and would spend total less time charging. But it wasn't a race. It was just us driving, and when we needed to stop or wanted to switch or needed electricity, we stopped. It's really not that hard. If you have any questions, leave them below.